where justice and music come together. So this is a true story that I wanted to tell you at the beginning.
Is that the start? Are you starting?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh,
We're on, baby. Totally relaxed.
Okay.
Bilingual rated R. If you don't know English, just switch. So this is a true story. I've been here 12 years. About 6 years into my being here, I'm, a little shocked at everybody driving a 4x4 in Dominican Republic. I'm going up, I think it was, I don't remember what street it was, so this guy's on his skateboard. And I'm like, that's curious. So I see this guy, I'm like, okay, he's either a tourist or he's a white boy. That's my first impression, right? So you know me, anybody that knows me, I was gonna stop and ask, but there was traffic, so I just kept going. I think it was like a month later, I'm in this lounge, not to call out names, and I walk in, and there's the same guy sitting in the corner of the bar, okay? I'm like, holy shit, there he is. So he's speaking to the owner, and as he is, who's a friend of mine, as usual, he's a great host. He brings me into the conversation and introduces me. So, they introduce me, and I tell him, I'm like, wow, I saw you skateboarding. I
don't think you told me
well,
that.
I did tell you that, but when I told you that? After I was told that he was from Miami. Oh. And that he had just come, or he lived in Miami. So in the conversation, I'm like, you know what, this is so crazy, because I saw you in the skateboard, and it's funny.
Which, by the way, is bullshit that I had just come. I've been here. Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Nobody's watching.
It surprises me because what surprised me about it was that you weren't just coming here. You are this personaje, the son of Juan Lopez.
Yeah.
Right? De Óptica Lopez.
Not
right?
to call out names or anything.
No, but it's like, I mean, who would think that this? I don't know how old you were at that time. Was considering the streets in Dominican Republic on a skateboard. Yeah. And then as the conversation goes on, I find out that he's a racer. Yeah. Right? Yeah. He's a racer. I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute, what else am I missing here? So what you were actually doing that day was introducing draft, right? You were talking about
when we met at that bar?
Yeah.
Is that right? I was installing the machine.
Yeah, and that's how we introduced him. He's like, look, he's RJ Lopez.
What's up? Hi, everybody.
What people don't know is that you are a racer. I think most people don't know that, right?
I am or was.
Or you were a racer, right?
I think I still am. I feel like I still am.
Right.
I don't know if I feel like I still am.
And then a lot of people, I tell them, do you know the owner of Dina Bazooka is, which is one of the most, no, they don't. So there's a fascinating story behind this guy. I mean, he's a regular kid that I see on a skateboard who now owns Republic Brewing, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself, RJ. My question is,
you nailed it. That was it.
Are you, because I've read articles about you racing and you call it home when you're in Homestead. Is that your home?
I mean, I grew up in Miami. I was born here. I grew up in Miami. I left when I was 2. If you want to switch this conversation to Spanish, I think your viewers will notice that Miami just might be my home. But no, I've been living here now. I lie to people. I tell them 3 years, but it's been like 12 as well.
Yeah, it's been right, because when I saw you, it was like 20,
I just have too many friends that speak English, I guess. Right. I don't know. My Spanish hasn't improved a lot. But anyway, so yeah, I grew up in Miami, until the age of about 28, 30. And I've done even though I started racing cars here, I've done most of my racing over there. So there was a race that was a professional race, and they actually went down to Miami. It was the first time that series went to Miami, and so sure, it was home. And then I had all my friends there from high school and whatnot. So at that point, I said it was home. But I actually got in trouble with racing journalists here and stuff, saying, oh, how can you not say you're Dominican or whatever,
But they always
won that race, so it was a good one.
So what gets you into racing?
My dad, Juan Lopez, who you mentioned.
Did he race though?
Yeah. He raced. I think he's just like me. I know he hasn't officially retired, so.
Okay. And I read that you won first place for a race called Trans Am.
Yeah, Trans Am is a series. Right. It's the name of the series. It's been around a very long time. It's kind of like NASCAR meets road racing. So they're big cars, a lot of power, 850 plus horsepower. Big old cars. I used to race them here. They were called GTS, which, by the way, I won the championship here in that series.
Oh, yeah, you did?
But,
congratulations.
2005.
Dominicano.
Yeah,
representing.
So anyways, yeah. And so I won that Miami race there. I've won, 5 or 6 races in that Trans Am series.
Right.
So yeah, it's a big deal for me. Anyway.
Before you raced, did you work for Optica Lopez at any time?
Before and after.
Yeah.
that's what I do. That's
right.
what
how many years did you race for?
Dude, I started racing when I was like 18. Started racing here, but I'd fly in on the weekends, like 4 or 5 times a year when there were races. I'd fly in, and it was an interesting and pretty funny experience because, like I said, my Spanish wasn't that great. I mean, that's bullshit. It's fine now.
It is. It's gotten
a lot better. I married a Dominican woman. I speak a lot more Spanish at home, and I mean, she speaks English, but. So it's gotten better. So I don't, but it was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah,
it was pretty bad, and I've said some dumb things a lot on TV.
No, well, you don't have to worry about that here. What brings you to DR? What makes you stay in Dominican Republic?
What made me stay?
Yeah,
or what brought me?
When do you make the switch to, because when I met you, like I said, you were talking about the idea, or maybe you already had the idea, to bringing draft beer, which I had never seen before, to bars.
Right.
You could see them probably at beer houses, right? But not at actual bars. Most people just order the bottle.
Right.
So how do you make that switch? What inspires you to start doing this?
Honestly, and you know what the really funny thing is? I was never like a beer freak, like a beer fanatic. I'm still not.
Really?
Like, and I don't try every beer, and I don't know every beer.
Right.
I know what I like, But it really came down to craft beer was a big growing thing in the States.
Right.
And every time I'd go, and before I'd go more often for, back home, you would say, more often and for a long time. Dude, and sometimes I'd just go to places, like in the US, forget it. I mean, everybody's just drinking craft beer. Like nobody's ordering a Budweiser or whatever. And so I'd be like, I wanted a Heineken or whatever, and they're like, we don't have Heineken, we have this.
Let me just ask you before you go on, what is craft beer? Because I'm sure a lot of people don't know exactly what it means.
I don't know if I know. I mean, it's just your non-mainstream beers.
Right.
It's made with, I guess, pure ingredients, you would say, which is straight up just barley with cebada, hops, and then you can add, people add additives to it, not additives like artificial stuff, but like, whether it's fruit or the main list of this, people put bacon or peanut butter in it, it's just making like very artisanal type beer,
homemade, basically, I guess.
But not homemade by any means, not anymore anyway. I mean, a lot of home brewers have gone on to become, major craft brewers. It's really grown. So, your regular beers, Presidente and whatnot, they have a lot of fillers, apart from, not knocking them, I mean, they're fine beers, but they're all generally the same type of beer, which is a Pilsner lager type. And they have, apart from barley and stuff, they have rice and corn in it, which are fillers that don't really add beer type qualities to a beer. They're just kind of finish off the beer and add maybe alcohol producing sugars to it and whatnot. Anyways, so craft beers are just beers, made with like more unique flavors, more, I guess for a smaller audience, but which is growing exponentially now. But anyways, so back to the story. Yeah, so I'd go to places and I'd be like, I want a Heineken. No, we don't have Heineken. We have this. And I was like, all right, fuck, whatever. I'll have it. Like I could take it or leave it. I don't really care. But of craft beers, But then I'd come back here and I'd be here 3 or 4 months, and I'm like, shit, I just want a different flavor. It wasn't like I was a craft beer buff and I wanted that. I was like, and we're missing it here. We're missing it, And just, I guess the desire or whatever, the want, the feel, the need to do my own thing, just to do something, you know what I mean? I guess I had time in my hands or whatnot. So just wanted to create it. And then I wanted to create it my own way, Obviously the simple thing to do and what most people were doing. There were a couple other maybe home brewers selling, and obviously everything in bottles, and I wanted draft. I mean, draft is, but I've always loved draft. It's just better, Yeah,
and I mean, you go to a bar, it's like so kind of weird to order a bottle at a lounge or a bar, right? It just in the States it doesn't exist.
Right.
I mean, I don't remember I worked in a lot of restaurants while I was doing my first degree over there.
Yeah.
As a waitress, which
Right.
is a common thing. And I don't remember seeing bottled beers at the restaurants being sold ever. It was always
nothing
draft.
better. There's
Right.
nothing better than a draft,
The barrels,
you know?
the big barrels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
you
it's like,
started
why not?
when I met you that time. You had this. I remember it was just like one square box, basically, where you had the barrel in, right? That you put in the
we
restaurant.
still have that one square
Yeah,
box.
it's still there, right?
That's what we use still.
And
We're in bottles
where did
too,
you
but-
start doing the beer? You started home? Or?
We have a for our main business for the optical business. We have a warehouse over in Gascoy,
Right.
really near the zone. And I just grabbed on the third floor, just little shitty, warehouse thing. I mean, whatever.
Did you ever make the beer yourself, or were there people that were helping you make this
It's
beer?
Dominican Republic, man. Come on.
What does that mean?
Come on. Of course there were people helping me. Get the fuck out of here. I was directing them.
Right.
You know?
So my question is, did you know the formula? Did you know how to make it? Did
Yeah,
you study that?
yeah. I do. I didn't make, not the initial ones. I did not help with the initial ones. Obviously, we had a master brewer, you would say. Though somebody created the formulas, and obviously I gave input on what I liked, this and that. You know what I mean? And that person developed it. But later on, I went and I took a course. I got a master brewing certificate in Miami, and one of our beers, which is Buches, I created completely from scratch.
That was your second beer, right?
No, that was like our fourth or fifth or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was I know the first one was Tina Basuca.
Tina,
right?
Guivia.
Then Guivia, that's
Guivia.
right. You had Guivia after that.
And then More, maybe. Then More. Yeah, Buche came after More.
And then the real deal, which is
And the real deal,
awesome.
which actually we did before Buche, but we never bottled. We never bottled, and we started bottling it, maybe 6 months ago.
Where do you that your names are very curious. Where do you come up with these names? Does it happen at night? RJ's sleeping and he goes, oh shit, this is what I'm gonna call the beer, yeah?
Sometimes. Tina Bazooka was just like really I really like I like history, but like in a funny way, I guess.
And
A really dumb, funny way, I guess. Like I like city history. I like looking at cities, how they were before and whatever. And I used to, when I lived in Miami, I looked at Miami stuff like online and whatever, pictures, and that's where I have alligator tattoo.
I know. I was. That's.
Was that coming up in the?
It was going to come up later on because you had that tattooed not too long ago, right? You've always had it?
Not always. No, maybe 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I first met you, you
maybe I
didn't have that.
it. Yeah.
Right.
So, and it's just because I really liked history and looking up and reading about Miami history, whatever, alligators and shit,
You got a beer coming up called Alligator?
No,
No?
I mean, it might happen. It might.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
But not at the moment. So yeah. So and whatever. And so living in San Domingo, then I wanted to read, and I came across Tina Bazooka. I came across the story of Tina Bazooka, which I thought was amazing. And this was way before.
I didn't know who Tina Bazooka was.
Nobody. At
to be
this
honest,
point,
I
and
didn't.
honestly-
I mean, now I know because of the beer.
Yeah.
Because I did not know. Did you know?
Does
Have
this
any
one have
idea?
her picture on it?
No.
Okay. We were forced to take her picture off.
No. Oh, you were?
Yeah.
You're kidding
so
me.
I'll tell you.
Eventually, it got to that. Go ahead. Yeah,
I
tell
don't
me
give a
about
shit.
that.
I'll tell the whole
Because I
story.
know it was a big deal because it wasn't really Tina Bazooka.
Which I knew from the start. I knew that.
It
from
was
the
the
start.
bazooka, but it wasn't Tina.
I read the story on Tina Bazooka, and I was like, some crazy bitch that like threw grenades or Molotov cocktails at the Marines, stole a Jeep, and this little white Catholic schoolgirl. I knew that wasn't fucking her. Like I knew it, But at the time,
You found the picture.
the picture was cool.
Yeah.
And she was only wearing Ray-Bans, which is, a reference to my regular day job. But anyway.
Right, that's true.
No, but at the time, you would Google it, and that was the picture that came up. Only that picture.
Right.
So, and we were introducing, the story, who Tina Bazooka is, whatever. So I wanted, if somebody wanted to look it up, like, oh, there's this beer, it's called Tina Bazooka. What the fuck is that? Let me Google it. It had to match the picture. The picture had to match.
Right.
Or else, you know what I mean? I knew that wasn't her. I tried to contact the person that was originally on the bottle, the wrong picture. She was alive and well. I don't know.
Really?
I tried to, I don't know if she's well, but she's alive.
She's alive, really? That little girl that's holding you?
Yeah, she's
Get
alive,
out of
yeah.
here.
Yeah, she lives
so
in La Vega.
who took a picture of her? Like, why?
Dude,
how did
I
that
wasn't
start?
there. I don't know.
So it just, somebody
no.
took a picture and said.
And somehow some guy somewhere on the internet put it as her,
Right.
And I knew it wasn't her. So anyway, I tried to reach out. She never answered, whatever. I threw the fucking picture on there, whatever. What really funny thing is, and our friend Idel de Casiba.
Right, Hilde. Yeah.
No,
Hitler.
it's Idel,
Hey,
because he always
Idel,
said
how are
it's like Idel. That's how I call him. Anyways, so he calls me one time, and he's like, look, they're talking some shit on Facebook about that, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I know it's not really her and whatever. He's like, oh, really? And then he tells me, he actually says who the guy is that's talking the shit. And I was like, wait, I know that fucking name.
Right.
Madso something, I don't know, Tarzo, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, dude, hold on. And you can ask Idel this, because it's pretty cool. I'm like, and I've looked in my notes, like I found the thing. When I first learned about Tina Bazooka, and you had the wrong picture, and it was that guy talking shit on Facebook that wrote the original article with the wrong picture.
You know,
and I sent that to.
That is, I've had this conversation before. People just hate it.
Yeah.
When you're blowing up with something, instead of saying, oh,
well, because the guy is like,
have me on, let's talk about this. He comes and knocks you
down. But the guy, thinks he's a historian or whatever. Maybe, I learned about Tina Bazooka through him, but it was the wrong picture. So anyway, so he's talking all this shit, like, oh, and it's really wrong that they use the wrong picture and this and that, whatever. And I was like, look, you should say something. I'm like, I don't want it coming from me. I have not publicly stated that I know it's the wrong picture or whatever. Right. But I sent the link to Idel, and he put it up there, and he was like, I find it weird that you guys are talking all this shit when you are the one that originally used the wrong picture. And he's like, sí, es verdad, en ese tiempo nadie sabía que esa no era la foto, whatever. Like that, dude. And so that happened. So,
well, you know what? Like I said.
And I never...
History owes you something, because I did not know about it.
A lot of people didn't, but you don't know all the amount of people that pretend like they did now. I've literally gotten phone calls from people saying, how can you use that wrong picture, whatever. I'm like, dude, a year ago, you didn't know who the fuck she was.
No,
don't even lie.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we had to take the picture off.
Yeah, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, because...
So what do you have now? Just the name?
The lady from La Vega hit us up.
Who's there? The real girl?
Yeah, the real girl.
She is?
She hit us
I gotta
up.
buy. I didn't. We don't have it, by the way.
No, what?
It is so demanded that we couldn't find the Tina Bazooka beer. So there you go.
That's Tina Bazooka.
Let me see it.
No, it doesn't have the picture. It does have the picture. I thought it didn't.
It does. There she is.
We got to cancel the whole interview, dude.
Really? Okay.
We got to cancel.
No, we'll just clip that out.
I'm just kidding.
Nobody's
I don't give a shit.
Anyway, listen. It doesn't even.
I don't give a shit.
Did you change the color of the label though?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't.
Because she has a little color there.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Just turn it backwards. We're good.
You have also L'Amore, which is my favorite.
Good.
Because
that's a collaboration
it's
called
just
Cacao.
a great tasting beer.
Thanks.
Tina Bazooka is a little strong for me, although I know that most guys like Tina Bazooka.
Yeah. Girls like it too. A lot
we
of
know
girls
what
like it too.
Guibia is, obviously where that name comes from, right?
Yeah,
right.
That one. My dad named that one because he used to surf.
Get
at Guibia.
out.
Yeah, when he also came from Miami. He's Cuban, lived in Miami, then moved here, and he was a surfer. He was a surfer when he moved here, and so he used to surf at Guibia. So.
Wow. So and then how did you come up with L'Amore?
I think it's Morena.
Is it Morena because of...
That's a collaboration.
No, it is Morena. The girls at the salon, they come, More. I know where that comes from.
That's a collaboration with the from Cacao with a K, Cacao.
Yeah. Just a great
excellent
beer.
Chocolate cacao.
So you have now 5 beers, right?
Yeah, is that 5?
You're on the 5th one.
I don't even know.
Yeah, you're on the 5th one.
Yeah, I think 5.
So did you expect this to grow the way it has, RJ, when you first started doing the beers?
Maybe not. I did expect it to make more money. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. But did you have a vision? I mean, what was your intention with it? To obviously grow big?
Trying to see where it goes. Just see where it goes.
Now you have
my intention was to create it the way I wanted to create it in terms of dry. And by the way, I didn't do this alone. I started the company with my cousin, Ryan Lopez.
Oh, he's your cousin. I thought he was your brother.
No, cousin. And so, no, our vision was to, create really what we wanted to create. And that's what we've done, Good. A lot of people, when we started, they were like, oh, you should name it German. I'm like, why am I going to name the beer some kind of
German beer?
Instead of a German sounding name, they said to copy Presidente. Why am I going to do all that shit? Like, why do we need another one?
Which is why I wanted to interview you or have you here as a guest. I shouldn't call it an interview because you're not applying for a job. But, what I see often here is that people tend to go for what's not from Dominican Republic. They, whether it's, I'll go as far as saying listen, Thursday, this was a long weekend that we passed, right?
Yeah.
The weekend started here on Thursdays. They start on Thursdays.
Sure.
Friday is like a free pass.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So then Monday's a holiday. So now we have a 4-day weekend. And then yesterday I'm seeing celebrating Cinco de Mayo. So I'm like, who's Mexican here? What's going on? Right? So the beers is, it's something that I see. I go out and everybody's ordering these foreign beers. They're great beers, the German beers.
Of course.
But I think we should, as a, country, and we should really consume what's local.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah.
And by the way, I mean, we use, well, other than the stuff that cannot be produced here, like the barley and stuff, the malt, we use fresh local ingredients. The buches, the beer, we haven't been able to produce it since January. I bought it. You shouldn't even. The color is off. It might be bad.
It's not.
It's good. It loses the color, but the beer stays the same in taste.
It's nice.
But it's normally very red. We haven't produced it since January. After about a month or so, it loses color in the bottle. In the keg, it stays fine because no light hits it.
Right.
But when there's light hitting it through the bottle, it loses its color. Anyway, so we haven't been able to produce that since January, which sucks because that beer, we sent it to a competition in Colombia with beers from all over Latin America, including Miami as well. But I mean, all over, from Argentina to Miami, every country, And it won gold in its class for sour beer, fruited sour beer, and it won third in show, third overall of all the craft beers in Latin America, which is phenomenal.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm saying. People here, they just.
Well, I mean, not everybody knows that. Whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that maybe most people don't like that style of beer.
No,
it's a new style of beer for
it. Is,
but what sucks?
different.
What I wanted to say, what sucks is we haven't been able to make the fucking beer since.
So call it a seasonal beer.
Yeah, unfortunately it is, yeah.
Which is,
but it sucks because I mean a lot of people did find out about that and they hit us up and they want to try the beer and whatnot, and we don't have it.
Selling
I actually found these, I went and bought these beers at a gas station and I found buches. I knew it was gonna be old, I knew that the color would be off, but
Well, this is one of my favorite, and people actually, I put it, like I said, on my storyline in IG. I put the beers. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw it, of course.
Yeah, and then it's, everybody's writing to me about the L'Amore.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, RJ, I read when you won that race, you said it made a comment that it was almost like you had to win because everybody was there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you feel the pressure, but I mean, also, not to toot my own horn. Like I said, it's kind of my home track. Trans Am is a series that goes all over the country. And so I mean, these are guys from California, from Ohio, from New York, whatever. So at that Homestead track, apart from Trans Am, I do a lot of local races. And I've probably raced there 100 times. So I know the track like the back of my hand,
Do you feel the same with the beers? You kind of like have to be successful at it because everybody's watching?
I don't feel the same with the beers. I mean, I do in the sense, I feel the pressure to be it, but I guess I don't have the full confidence yet in my own skill to get it done every time. You know what I mean? I'm a little more confident in my racing.
And that's because you're in control, probably.
Maybe.
While you're racing.
Yeah.
But I think, it's Republic Brewing, it's called, right?
Republica, yeah.
And I think, Republica?
Yeah, Republica.
Oh, I thought it was Republic.
Yeah.
But, you're out there. I feel kind of happy when I see people like you do things like this because
Thank you.
who were I only knew Cervecería Nacional for like my entire life here.
Yeah.
I didn't know of anything else. And now I know that they're importing beers, a lot of them, right?
Right.
Are you exporting this?
No.
No, not yet?
No, people have approached us about it. And I always say like, there's 2,000 other bars that we're not in Dominican Republic. Why am I going to go and, you know what I mean? To try to export when there's so much more I can do here.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Guiva will be a hit over there, I think, because there's a lot of absent Dominicans that absolutely know what Guiva is, and a lot of it has to do.
Yeah.
I mean, people tend to buy things if they make a connection in their head.
No, that's true. Yeah. No, and it might, but it's more, Look, I'm not saying that we'll get to it. I'd love to be able to do it eventually.
Right.
I just think that there's a lot more I need to do here before I start thinking about, further pastures. Yeah, it probably isn't. And then a big thing, honestly, with craft beer is the localness and the freshness. So, and we pride ourselves on that.
Craft is artesanal.
Correct.
Right?
So we make small batches. we had to bottle. We got into bottling during the pandemic because everything was closed, and so shit, we had to keep the doors open, you know. So we started bottling, and it's gotten us into a lot more places. But obviously, because of that, unfortunately, you might lose a little bit of. I'm not gonna say lose the freshness, but you know, with the kegs, beer in kegs is always better. It's just, you know, and then it was just like. We were delivering to the bars. The bar could have one keg. They were out of that keg, boom, and we delivered daily, you know. Now we're sending beer, which is a great thing, great for us, you know. We're sending beer all over the country and whatnot, you know, which is, I mean, shit. I mean, we need to do it.
I think it'll, and you know, going back to the Tina Bazooka subject, I was, you know, H and I, my camera guy, no, he's my producer, what is it? How do you say it in English?
Audiovisual kind of
is audio and visual, right? Right.
Yeah.
We talk about, you know, what are we going to do next? And hot potato is Elon Musk.
Yeah. So, is he coming next after me?
Oh, no. Hey, you never know. You never know. But you came to mind immediately. Oh. And the reason you come to mind is obviously the first thing is he, you know, Tesla, cars.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
And he goes from Tesla to, you know, spaceship. Not that you're anything like that. But then he buys Twitter. Right? And so the big thing about Twitter, and I was asking him, what do you think? Did he really do it for freedom of speech, or did he want to be the richest man on the planet? Why do I ask that question? Are we really, you know, is there truly freedom of speech? And we go back to this. What is freedom of speech to you? Do you believe in it? Do you think it exists, or could we ever have it?
Yeah, I guess not.
No.
It's not, I mean, I don't know if it's something I think about. I mean, I definitely don't feel like there's much freedom of speech here, but I mean, now you look at the US, it's probably even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, with the whole cancel culture, I mean, yeah, I guess legally or freedom-wise,
well, freedom of speech is freedom of expression.
Right.
You know, so.
But I mean, if you get, you know, if every time you say something on your mind, you know, if it doesn't go over well and whatever, you say it at the wrong moment, then, you know, you're.
Well, over here, I think I you know, one of the main reasons that I wanted to do this podcast, or that I'm doing it, you know, it's fresh out of, you know, it's my baby. This is my third, you know, guest on it. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because I want to get a message across, something I've been a victim of here while I've been here 12 years. This comes obviously because I was raised in the States. Yeah. So my mind thinks different. And I always say, you know, I sometimes hear, when I'm in certain groups here, I feel like I'm hearing a language I don't understand. Yeah. And that is, you know, freedom of speech goes hand in hand with that. You know, sure. I'm a certain way. I don't pretend to be something else. Right. And so people judge me by that, right? Yeah. And so I feel like, you know, are we free? I mean, what is this? Like, how up to where? You know, I mean, and I want to see. I'm curious to see what he does with this. I'm really curious to see what he does with it, because I don't know that it can really go the way he wants it to go. I mean, I think we totally need a balance, you know. But I don't know. Let's wait and see what happens, right? I mean, look what he says about Coca-Cola. I think most people thought that was a joke.
Did he really say that? I thought
he
it was like
did, but I don't think everybody understands what he said, why he said that. You see, this is the thing. Like, he didn't do it to be loud or to call the attention. His point exactly, this is why I'm buying Twitter. Like, how does that affect anybody? Why can't I say this? Right. I don't think he's buying Coca-Colas. I mean,
no, I doubt it.
I don't think he can. I mean, I don't know that he can. Or,
I don't know. I think Warren Buffett's got that one, actually, yeah.
He does?
I think Berkshire Hathaway owns the most shares.
So where are we going now after the beers, RJ? Are we staying at the beers, or you have any other future plans? Different things to do?
For now, we're staying at the beers. We are, I guess, moving into different areas with the beers. But for now, we're staying. We're trying to open our own.
No other hobby you want to take a hit at?
I don't know. I mean, eventually, I guess. But right now, we're trying to open our own home, I guess, with the beers. Right. A tap room, a nice little tap room, so people can come and enjoy the beers in Republica's own home, I guess. And also, at the same time, make many more, because the distributing the beers kind of limits you a little bit in what you can make, you know, because you're kind of going for full market. So we want to have our own base and make a bunch of different crazy beers.
Right. Good.
So that's what's next for that. For myself, I don't know. I'm a dad. I'm just being a dad.
Oh, that's right. You just had a baby,
yeah,
right?
I had a baby.
I don't know if you wanted to, you know, those personal things. Some people don't like to talk about.
Whatever. It's all right.
Little RJ, because he looks just like you. What's his name?
Yeah,
well,
Oliver.
Ollie, that's right.
Ollie. Yeah.
So let me ask you, RJ, if you had a billboard,
Oh God.
right?
Yeah.
What would you write on it? Have to walk down the street with a billboard. What would you write on
Holy
it?
shit. I don't know. Can I leave it blank? Is that like cool, mysterious?
I mean,
No, I'm just
whatever.
kidding. I don't know. I don't know. Watch your step. I really don't know
Yeah,
what I would. Shit.
So let me ask you.
What would you
another-
write on it?
What would I write on it?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't know. Just keep walking. You know,
Which is kind of weird because I am talking. Just keep walking. That's a good one.
Yeah, why
Just
not?
keep walking. Yeah. I have these questions that I wanted to
Johnny
ask
Walker.
you. In 150 years, science fails to save us all, right? And there's a book left about your life. What would the book say?
Okay. Are the answers here?
What would you want the book to say about R.J. Lopez? The Earth is now, you know,
Who's gonna read the fucking book?
there are other people coming here.
The other people are alive. There's still people alive.
Yeah.
It's not like a couple.
No,
I'm not the only one left.
humans have ceased to exist.
Humans. Who's reading it? Who's reading the fucking book?
The people that are destroying the planet. Well,
don't know.
the aliens. What would you want them to know about RJ? Who was RJ Lopez?
The guy who wrote this book. Jesus, man. Are you serious? I don't know.
You
Oh
know?
my God, man.
The guy.
But hold on, let me ask you this. Did I write this after everybody died?
No, they write a book about RJ Lopez.
Oh, I didn't write the book.
No, you didn't write the book.
then
How would you?
who the
What
fuck
would you
wrote
like?
it?
What would you like the book to be titled?
Oh, that I was
RJ
awesome.
Lopez, the awesome guy.
Yeah, I think that pretty much nails
You're
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Is there something about you that I don't know, RJ?
Oh, fuck. See, these are the questions I'm not good at. I can talk about things, but like existential shit, or is that considered existential?
Yeah, you haven't thought about deep
Right,
thoughts?
right.
No?
Dude, is there something? I mean, I think I put it all on the table just today here. I mean,
Are you happy in Dominican Republic?
I am now. I'm happy. You know, when that was a big part of the reason about starting the beer. You know, just doing something. I used to be miserable here. I swear to God, I was miserable here. I was working from family, which people who've worked for family know it's not the easiest thing to do.
Right.
And I used to complain. I used to complain about my job. I used to complain about my salary. I used to not like it here. Then I started the brewery, and I'm doing something,
Right.
and I started to like it here. You know, just because I'm focused on
busy,
something.
Yeah.
The money that I'd complained about not making enough money, well, all my money I'd throw away creating the beer, you know, getting it started, and no complaints. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think
You're doing something you love.
just doing something right and just something you're focused on can really make you happy. You know, when you don't have that, when you don't have somewhere to channel all your energy and stuff, I think you're miserable. I think it's
Right.
been my experience.
It
anyway.
is. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you know?
You're right.
So, and when I was racing, I mean, I always say, like, people think, you know, with the racing, that I'm like a speed freak, I get in a car. First of all, I don't know shit about cars. Like, people, like, they talk to me about the new car, the new Porsche, or the new BMW. I have no idea.
Really?
No idea. It's really a kind of a funny thing.
You write them. That's it.
I love race cars. I can talk to you all day about race cars, but like the new car that's on the street or something, I don't really know about or care. You know, that's why you see me on a skateboard. That's why you see me on a skateboard.
Right.
I don't want, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
And then people think I'm like a speed freak. That I like in the car, and, you know, no. But you know,
Right. That's what I think all the time. Like RJ's probably racing.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not like that at all.
At
It's
all.
like when you're racing, you're actually really focused. I learned a lot. It's about the dynamics of how a car operates, you know, when you're racing it, you know, under fucking whatever. And also like setup and whatever. So what I really got out of racing is all the work that I put into it, I got out of it by winning races and whatnot, or winning championships
Right.
and not. So, and that's what I guess kept me
That's your
focused.
drive.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's not so much that, oh, I love cars or I love going fast, which is
So you're
fun.
competitive.
I guess, yeah. But you know what? Most of that was within myself, learning about how to drive the car, how to whatever. You know, not like, oh, I got to beat the next guy. That's another thing. When I'm racing, it's not like I got to beat that guy ahead of me. No. It's, I got to drive this car the best I can. And if it's fast enough to beat that guy ahead of me, well, then I'm doing that.
That's
you know
great.
what I mean?
That's great that you just said that
So-
because it's so true. you don't necessarily, I read a quote, it says, it's not who's best, it's who wants it the most.
There you go. Yeah.
So, if you want to learn something, you want to, I guess, master yourself, right? Learn the skill, yeah. And you just sent a very powerful message, which is, again, why I'm doing this podcast, because, you have to do what you love.
Sure, totally.
You complained about all this money that you weren't making, and then you just blow it off on something that you're passionate about, and it doesn't bother you.
Right. And then all of a sudden I'm happy.
Which is, a lot of kids growing up, and not even kids are at our age, because we really didn't have this growing up, where we were told that what we had to do in order to survive. I never heard my mom say, "What's your passion?" Right? Where now we hear it a lot. And
well, I never heard that either.
No, I don't think anybody does, but I do. With my kids, I'm like, what do you love? Do you feel stressed?
Yeah.
I never heard my parents saying, are you stressed today? It's crazy.
I don't really see myself saying that to my kid, though.
No, well, you never know. You're just starting off.
Like, I'm going to care about what he wants to do and be happy and stuff, but I'm not going to treat him like some of that shit.
Well, your parents never said to you, what makes you happy? I'm sure you didn't hear that growing up, right? So the world is changing, it's evolving.
Yeah.
No,
so you're right.
That's cool.
But let's see. I say that now. He doesn't talk yet.
You're going to do it, believe me, RJ.
In a few months.
You're going to be like, why should he go to school? Just let him do what he loves. All right? Listen, I know in education it's important, but to a certain extent, well, look at me now. I have a business degree. I have a law degree. Look at what I'm doing. I'm still working, I'm practicing.
Yeah, right.
But this is, I didn't study for this. I have no communication skills whatsoever. If it wasn't for Mr. H here, I would not know how to put this together. Yeah. So I do believe in that a lot. I think Absolutely. If my parents would have told me when I was a little girl, what do you love? I would probably be in another place. That's the way I think.
A ballerina somewhere or something.
I don't know. I really can't answer that, but thank you for bringing us a beer.
Yeah.
A Dominican beer, and I don't know. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
What you said.
No, we can't leave without this.
Oh, yeah,
How can I forget this? Justice in music. I heard from a little bird that you had a band.
I didn't have a band.
Okay, that you sung at a bar?
Yeah.
You did? They even told me that your flyers was your face all over.
All over other people's faces.
How is this? Tell me about that. When did you do this?
I used to go to this coffee shop in Miami when I was in high school, like in 10th grade. And there was they would have open mic there, right? And so one time I got up there on an open mic. I was drunk, I think.
Open mic, like singing 14. Or just like poetry? Because
poetry and stuff,
okay.
And I got up there, I don't know what the fuck I did, but it's open mic, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
So I really don't remember what I did, but I used to go to that coffee shop all the time, and then I was friends with the owner and friends with the bartender or whatever, the guy, the barista. And whatever, they gave me my own night. I was like,
to sing.
To do whatever the fuck I want. So I'd go, and I'm telling you, I was like 15, 16. I was 16. I drove there.
I'm telling you, man, you're a risky guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that shit now, ever. But
you wouldn't? Never seen that?
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? So I'd go, and we would go to Walgreens, and the guy would buy me this really shitty little bottle of vodka, and I'd fucking down the whole thing, right? And they'd hand me a guitar, and I don't know how to play a guitar. And then I'd use a Presidente bottle cap as a pick.
Get out!
I'd have to restring the guitar every week after. Yeah, because it was kind of like the thing. I'd play the guitar. I didn't know how to play a guitar, and I'd be drunk, and I'd sing, and I would mix these two songs. What was that I would do? Let the Trojan be our hero.
Yeah.
And I'd mix it with Like a Virgin. I don't know. I don't know, but I used to sing the two of them.
We got to get you back on to sing that.
I don't know, man. And then I'd talk shit, and then I'd just talk all this shit. I told true stories. My dad thought I was gay because I was in my room with a friend and whatever. And then, so I would do this. I had a few people that would go and see me, but I was 16. By the second week, I was out of material.
Yeah.
I was out of material. I don't have any more stories to tell. So I started making shit up.
Right.
And it was just it was really sad. And then all my cousins would go and see me, which I think is how you heard about it. And then at one point they were like, My parents were gonna go, and they were gonna tell my uncles and shit, and everybody was like, no. You don't want to see this shit. It's not what you think at all.
Right. So it was a short-lived.
I did it 4 or 5 times. I was supposed to make 30% of the bar, but I felt really bad taking money for the shit that I was doing.
Right.
So I was like, just give it to me in a tab, and I would just,
just drink it up.
Well, I wouldn't, because I couldn't really drink there. I would have coffee and sandwiches and shit.
That's cool. You see, there's
I would drink in the alley.
We all have an artist in us.
Well, if you call that art, man.
Hey, art is art. There's no such thing. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
It's such a pleasure to have you on. I was telling my kid yesterday what my interview was going to be today. She's like, "Oh my God, Mom, I want to meet him." So yeah, it's to you it seems like nothing, but to me it's really inspiring how humble you are.
Thank you.
And how you've done all this because you're following what you love and not necessarily, going into the family business, which would be so easy for you.
I
right?
am in that. That does pay the bills.
You just don't do that. You're following,
Sure, trying to do a little
you're
more.
making yourself,
fun.
yeah. It's a good example you're setting.
Exactly. Awesome.
So that's it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Nothing. Keep watching us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I shall see you in the future.
Oh, that's not my cue. That's only you.
Reading, where justice and music come together.